We are joined by the chairman of Bul FC, Ronald Barente. He's joining us on the show. He's live from Dar es Salaam. Kodeo Lonadi.
Soga people have not taught me that much Soga to be speaking on set.
Yeah.
So,
you don't have enough of it yet.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but good evening.
Good evening. How are you? How are you, Ismail?
Yeah, nice we're very good. We're glad to have you on the show. Would have wanted to have you in studio as we had agreed earlier, but because of your other commitments in Tanzania, you can't be with us. What's the weather like actually in Dar es Salaam today?
Dar es Salaam is warm. The weather is just fine for a beach outing and all that.
What is Ronald doing in Dar es Salaam?
That's what I was going to ask. Are you buying someone from Simba or Yanga or something? Have you guys gone crazy?
They are too ambitious.
I don't know why Andrew likes so much speculation. But on this one, I'll unpack it when I finalize whatever I'm doing in Dar es Salaam.
Yeah, my fears is that these days, every time you travel, you're selling or buying someone. The other time you were in Ethiopia and you sold Simon Peter Okech. And actually, Ronald, let me tell you something. We did our predictions as Daily Monitor for who we think will win the league and who the star player will be. Now, yes, because you guys are not come out with a communication about your entire team, Ismail here goes and writes in a national newspaper, which has a tagline of Truth Every Day, and says the star player of the season will be Simon Peter Okech. Now, what you guys go and do is to sell the guy after we had printed the newspaper. Apologize anyway, on TV for making me look bad.
I do not know. I do not understand why he went ahead and write such a story when we have not come out as a club to say that we have sold Simon Peter.
Is that your
Simon
apology?
The club will come out with a statement whether we have sold him or he has moved on and all that. But yeah, the truth is Simon Peter is in Ethiopia, he's in Addis Ababa, and he's trying to make a move to a club in Addis Ababa. Hopefully it works out for him, for his career and the future, because the money in Addis Ababa is way bigger than the money we offer here in Uganda. Ethiopia has money in terms of football. Yeah. Though they lack in terms of talent, but the money is there, so it will be a good move if it goes through for the young lad to go and get some good money for
and improve their lives. If you're just joining us on NTV Sport Nights, that is Ronald Barente. He's the chairman of Bul FC. They are the leaders of the Uganda Premier League. Now, let's get into exactly how we got here, Andrew. Yeah. Bul, a few years ago, you're just a team that finishes 8th, if you do well 5th, and that was okay. Now, what happens over the past year, you go and win the Uganda Cup, beating Vipers in the final by 3-1, and then we think, okay, a trophy for Bul is good. What happens a few months later is that Bul is top of the league. Barente, what are you doping? Is the team doping? What have you done?
I would call it preparations. Okay. Yeah, you see, if I go back 1 or 2 years back, we are doing things wrongly. We are not doing things in terms of football. So when you got into 2019, 2022, 2020, we sat down with the committee and we agreed that let's try and do what football demands of us to do. Let's try and do what other clubs are doing and see how far it goes. Because Andrew and Ismail, the whole Uganda knows that we have the money, but we have been fighting relegation. So we needed to put the money in the right places. We needed to start doing what football requires us to do, and that's what we have done. If I'll talk about this season, I remember, I think it's only Bul that did the transfers 2 months back. Yeah. For us, by July, August, we already done transfers. So the guys had started training together, the lads were getting together, we took a trip to Egypt, we went for a tournament in Ethiopia. And of course, where there is preparation, you will see the results. So the technical team, the Alex and his team have done us a very good job. And these are the results we are seeing now.
Maybe, Ronald, one kudos to you. You're the first administrator to admit that you actually have the money. So it's good for Ugandan players to know that they can go to Bul and do something. Now, on the issue of experience, you have some experience in your team, actually quite some good experience from the Kalandas. You could have even Ndugwa. The coach himself was played
Richard
on the continent, Wandiaka. So you have some experience, but also you've retained the core of your team. Now, one of our colleagues, Fred Mwambu, predicted that Bull would win the title this season.
The league, yeah.
And I could not understand him. I know you have the players, but that came off as a stretch. Could you say that Fred is a bit...
rush?
I don't know. Is he okay from your end?
For starters, I saw Freddy's comment in the
Daily Monitor.
And, on the Daily Monitor. And I also saw the comments Andrew and Ismail made. Some
so
people
he had
called him mad.
screenshots. Okay.
Okay, good.
But I think Fred followed us from pre-season, the way we are doing our stuff, the recruitments we made, how we are preparing ourselves. I think that's the reason why he boldly came out and made that statement that Bull might win the league. But like I told my guys, the last meeting I had with them, 5 flew to Dar es Salaam. I didn't ask for a trophy from them. The only thing I asked from them is the 3 points for every game. If you can get us the 3 points for every game, then the trophy will come. So I'm not asking anyone to trophy in the club. What I'm only asking is, give me the 3 points for each game that we are going to play.
Yeah, there's something when you talk about, and I don't want to discuss it of a technical stuff. That's where most of our clubs go wrong, being a chairman of a club. How much confidence and stability have you given Alexis Saville? There was a time when, in his coaching career, you could say he was a bit of a nomad, either as an assistant here or at URA or all these clubs he has been. Probably this is the longest he's been at a club. That has something to do with you. So how much confidence and stability does he have now at that club?
For all the coaches I have worked with, right from Arthur,
Arthur Chesimira, yeah?
Arthur Chesimira and Alexis Saville. When I'm offering a contract for these guys, I do not offer a contract for a coach. I offer a contract for a manager. So I give all the power and the confidence to him. The only thing I start asking is the results. I think that's where we go wrong. I do not offer a contract for a coach at Bul FC. So he manages everything, right from the players, what they wear, the recruitments, and each and everything. So I give him all the power to do what he wants to do to give me results. At the end of the day, if things don't go the way they are supposed to go, when I've given him all this, then I have all the rights to sack him at any time I want. I think that's the difference why.
Yeah.
Then the confidence comes into, Alex is a very experienced coach.
True.
Yeah.
Alex needs to be understood, and I believe I understood his weakness and his strength. So I worked on what the weakness is to get the best out of it. And he's giving me the results that I always wanted.
And Andrew spoke about the money when you said everyone claims you have the money. Now, Ronald, there is this rumor in the league that you pay the highest bonuses. And I don't think you've done an interview on television and told the world or told Uganda about how much Bul FC pay in winning bonuses per game. Everyone at every other club, you ask coaches and they're like, Bul esasula bulungi, chovola abana bafiirawo. And I've had this rumor for several years. Now, please confirm to NTV, how much are you paying in winning bonuses to players?
I wouldn't want to break it down because my players might get issues the days they are winning games. But on for every game that these guys win, I give them 10 million for every game that they win.
To the
so
club?
You compare
to the players and technical staff.
To the players and
Okay.
Just 10 million for home game. And that's what I give to them. For the players, at least each player walks away to close to 300, 400,000.
Good stuff, Ronald. Ronald, good stuff. I know.
Andrew,
yes.
first let that sink in. Because
So
we are seated here and our talent is in our voices, our vocabulary and our ability to speak. For a moment, Ronald made me want to kick a ball again.
Unfortunately, you can't kick to save your life. So we'll stick it to footballers.
Okay.
But good stuff there, Ronald. Now, when you sit with your team and the club, I know this is not just a corporate team to put your name out and all. It's more than that. But what vision? What really do you want from this club? What do you want to achieve?
Number one, my first priority and target is to promote these young lads. When I came to office in 2019, we had won the Under-19 championship. And actually, we are still the defending champion because no any other team has ever won it. But that team of Under-19, there were only like one or two guys who were sitting on the bench for the senior team. So when I came to office, I immediately gave an assignment to Alex and Coach Kabale to bring back at least all the guys to come back and start playing for us, which I have achieved. At least 80% of the guys came back. That's why you see the Simon Okage, the Regan Oriowas who destroyed the Vipers in the Dhakaba finals. The Hironek was a student at St. Mary's. So I brought him back to the club, Alan, Kigongo, and all other lads. And these are the guys now who are giving us results from that young generation. Now, if Simon signs a very good contract in Ethiopia, because I know he's going to be earning thousands of dollars a month, that's my biggest pride.
Yeah.
If you can have such a contract and signs that, because I'm paying in hundreds of dollars. If you get thousands of dollars, that's very good for you. Second, I want return on investment. We have invested a lot of money in Ghana football, and we have nothing to show for it, apart from the Uganda Cup trophy that we recently got in Masindi. So if we could get at least a league, not now, maybe in 2-3 years to come. If it comes now, if it doesn't come, it's also okay. Then lastly, I would want to leave something for Soga, for the country, in terms of the structure. If this club, if I can make money from the players, I can make money from the football, and at least I put something in Soga, like a structure, like a stadium, which we do not have right now. That will be my biggest achievement in football, and I will walk away a very happy man having achieved that.
Wow. Big dreams there.
Big dreams,
and Ronald, to be honest with you, if Bull won the league, I think the whole country would celebrate you, even the one who finishes runner-up, because...
Ronald, I will come to the party. I'll come to the party.
I mean, the league being one outside of Kampala.
Yeah.
That would be huge. It would inspire everyone else who is playing football.
When is the last time a team outside of Kampala won the league?
I'll be honest, I'll have to go back. If
Nile from Ginger, right? Ronald, am I?
I think so. Yeah,
I do not remember.
Yeah.
But that would be really big.
Very long, yeah.
Ronald, last question from me. What would you consider a successful season this season for Bull?
Not less than third place. That's our target.
Yeah. Straight up, the other thing for someone joining the show, we have the chairman of Bul FC, Ronald Barente. They are top of the Uganda Premier League. They've won their opening 2 games.
They've scored 8 goals, conceded 1. That's the most goals scored in the first 2 games. Yeah,
because the next time we need to host Alex Isabre, because that is very good attacking football. Ronald, maybe the final one. How do you even end up as Bull chairman? You are an engineer by profession? and you work with a company, Bul Bidco, that own Bul. How then do you end up in football? You're supposed to be looking at machines, getting through cooking oil or slicing soap or something, and yeah, you are talking football. How do you even end up there as chairman?
Okay, just in a nutshell, I finished my course in Chambogo. I joined Bidco in 2008 as a trainee mechanical engineer. And of course, I've grown ranks from being a boiler operator to a manager now. I used to be on the side of the corporate football, and I would play and manage that corporate team. And then the former GM Bidco saw some leadership skills in me, and he encouraged me to do trainings in football administration. So I attended those former courses in FOFA. I did beginners course in F3 also. I also did a beginners course in coaching. So I did all those trainings, administration, coaching, and F3. Then in 2019, I challenged the then president of the club, Silva, and I was voted in as a chairman in 2019. It wasn't rosy. Things were up and down, but eventually we streamlined things, and this is the Bul we are seeing right now in the Ghana football.
Oh, sure. Thank you very much, Ronald Barente, chairman of Bul FC, for talking to us live from Dar es Salaam. We hope you enjoy your time and you're successful with what you've gone to do right there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ismail, and Andrew. Thank you, NTV, for having me. It has been a pleasure being on set on NTV Live. Yeah,
as you depart, make sure you continue watching the show. And when you win the league, invite us for the party. You didn't invite us for the Uganda Cup trophy party. When you win the league, please invite the league, I'll invite you for the party. Sure. We have to let Ronald Barente go, and that is what we mean the view from the top. Very good insight about where the club has come from there from Ronald Barente. We want to switch gears and move to a golfer. We talked about the view from the top, which is much more rosy than just having numbers. We have Martha Babirie, who have kept awake for a very long time today. She told me she normally goes to bed at 8 p.m. So to be on NTV Sport Nights at this time of the night would be very, very difficult for her. But I'm really hoping that Martha Babirie can join us, and we have a discussion about her winning the Tusker Malt Uganda Open for the ladies that ended on Saturday. But we'll get to that at some point when Martha Babirie does join us. She takes her coffee to keep her eyes awake. Andrew, sticking with football, let us switch gears and go to Chitende. There was a game between Vipers and TP Mazembe in the CAF Champions League, the second round of the qualifiers for the group stages. The game ending goalless. And you're there covering the game. One of the things that stood out for me, one of the things that actually has been running in my mind for the entire time when the draw was made, I have seen very strong TP Mazembe sides, especially the one that won the Champions League in 2009 and 2010, and even got to the final of the FIFA Club World Cup and lost to Inter Milan. Surely this was a beatable Mazembe side, but some of Vipers couldn't do that.
Credit to Vipers, they kept a clean sheet, and they got a result. A result that gives you some hope when you go to Lubumbashi for the return that is this Saturday. Now, the fact is TP Mazembe have since declined from the Mazembe that we knew.
Though the man himself has not declined.
The man himself, and when he entered, he arrived at Chitende, you know, through one wave, and the Mazembe fans went ecstatic. Of course, he's one of the inspirations of Lawrence Melindo, the owner of Vipers. So it was quite interesting there. Maybe I'll start with the good things about Vipers before we get to the pitch. And I wrote this in my report. I think Vipers, in starting to do program notes for their Champions League games, for me that's something really cool. The magazines are distributed during the game. where you have, you know, word from the president, the captain talking, the preview, the coach, all that. This is stuff that we see out there, and we want to emulate it. So good stuff there. I also like the way the orderly way the fans enter the stadium and the exit. For me, that's quite interesting as well. And of course, the stadium in itself. Every time I go to Chitende, I really pay homage. I pay homage to Lawrence and what the club have done.
And also, you're reminded about how poor we are as a country in having facilities.
Uganda's landlord in terms of football since Nambole went to, you know, renovations and all. Now to the pitch. Yes, admittedly, this is a far poor Mazembe as compared to the Mazembe we know. But tell you what, it's still ahead of Vipers. And watching the game, yes, both sides had chances to score. Mudekereza, the Congolese goalkeeper for Vipers, had some big saves that he made. Yeah. Vipers had chances.
Eventually voted man of the match.
Yeah, he really had some good saves that he made. Vipers, of course, had Yunus Sentamu miss a few. Abdul Mala, for me, the liveliest of the Vipers players. He's the one player who always wanted to do something. Wanted always to, you know, try and do something, turning players, making runs. There's a pass. He actually turned one player and beat two, then set for Issa Mubiru, and the cross was wanting. So Vipers had their moments, especially second half when they laid siege, but always Mazembe were in control. And there's this Jazzy 24, dreadlocked, lanky Mazembe midfielder. For me, he was the epitome of the midfield. The way he controlled the ball, distributed it. Now, we had Seraj Sentamu Osomba starting the midfield, as well as Iga, Najib Iga. But there wasn't much in terms of creativity. But even when they reached there, they developed cold feet. That's Osomba there. He made that one incisive run through the middle when he should have actually released Lumala, and Lumala was there demonstrating. So Mazembe are not the other Mazembe, but you could still see on the ball. They had that edge. They were poor at finishing, but you had to fear what would happen to Vipers. The other side.
The one thing I did not like also about Vipers, and you hinted on it, is that when they had their moments, especially the crosses from the right wing, the crosses were very poor.
They were too high.
Yeah, they were either too high or it's always over everyone in the box. And that's the one thing I needed to win their game. So, Andrew, goalless at Chitende, return leg in Lubumbashi, at that TP Mazembe Stadium. It's an 18,000-seater stadium, of course bigger than Chitende, but very small, a very small stadium. Not many teams win there, but I've seen Sundowns win there. They've won a game there 3-1. I also saw last year at this same stage, Amazulu from South Africa drew goalless in South Africa at TP Mazembe and went to Lubumbashi and picked a 1-0 draw. And that's how Mazembe eventually did not get in the Champions League group stages and sack their coach. Can Vipers do it?
Always, you actually have a chance if you've drawn goalless at home, because if you score away,
they have to score twice.
And then they score, you go through. If they score twice, then that's okay. So Vipers will hold on to that. Now, there's an issue. They haven't scored in the opening match against Bright Stars. They've not scored at home against Mazembe. So you're thinking, where's the confidence for scoring away? Maybe it will happen. It's a game between between 22 men. They could do that, but I don't think Mazembe will be as wasteful as they were in Lubumbashi. Also, Mazembe actually missed 4 of their best players who were banned, suspended because of the previous transgressions in the tournament. Zambians and you know, some homeboys as well. So we don't know which team will turn up in Mazembe, but I think the coach will be telling these guys, you're home, be composed and finish them off. But like you say, 0-0, you always go there with hope, but from what I saw on the pitch, I think it's advantage Mazembe.
Okay, that's it, what we're doing in Chitende yesterday, and now we have